everyone, this is another episode in my series on how sleeves work and how they fit. And in the first one I sort of looked at how different sleeves fit but don't always behave the way we think if we make alterations. And I love you, are really interested, and so I thought I'd do a bit more of actually sort of, maybe it's a bit more philosophical or theoretical, but a bit more about where sleeves actually come from and why they behave the way they do and how they've developed and how that affects how they fit and how we fit them. And then next week in the final guide, for now anyway, I might think of some more, but for next week I've planned a little episode where I'm going to do some sort of practical points around your sleeve and armhole, which probably will affect your fitting a bit, and which are one of the things people never talk about it, but once you understand them and you apply them to your patterns, they can make a difference. But today we're going to start right at the beginning and then work our way forward. This might seem a bit extreme, but I thought I'd start right at the beginning, when we first started making actual garments. And if you ever woven your own little sample of fabric or rug, you know how long it takes. And if you then think about actually getting the natural material, cotton, linen, wool, whatever, spinning it, dyeing it, and then weaving it, it would have been weeks to make a single piece of fabric long enough to make a garment. So that's why traditional or very old garments are quite often just strips of fabric, and that's sort of still seen in culturally important garments such as Japanese kimono, where it's very, very precious fabric, and again it's just strips of it, it's not pattern cut at all. And of course that has developed in like oversized sleeves who are actually quite wasteful. Well, you know, traditionally you put like thousands of years, you would have probably not spend extra weeks making sleeves, but that changes through time. But it's the same, always the same principle, that you either have a piece of width of fabric and it's fitted either with a neck hole, so it's like a poncho or robe which might be gathered in. And I'm going to put some images in the description below of I think he was a Russian anthropologist, maybe beginning of the 20th century, and he went around that sort of part of Eurasia and recorded different styles of dressing. And it's really interesting how you can see different principles of that same thing, how garments have developed, because we always think, yeah, all garments look like our basic bodice, but they don't. So you always have a sort of principle where you have normally the straight of grain on the front, you have a straight of grain on the center back, and then the sleeve is either one part or it is like this gown where it is a separate part, but everything is cut on the strain, so it's rectangles. And when your body sort of just fits inside, it's actually got lots of movement, but it isn't fitted at all, and it's, you know, it's maybe you got lots of wrinkles. If this was a bodice block pattern, you would think, oh my god, it's just not good enough. But you can't avoid it because we are not square, but the fabric is square, and it's actually just using slits for the sleeve, for the armhole, and then the sleeve is just a tube. So of course you're going to end up with all these wrinkles, but that already gives us a really good indication of what might be wrong with our sleeve if we get wrinkles here, for example. So this might seem a bit too theoretical, what's got to do with making your own clothes, but it is about, the more you understand why clothes work the way they do, the easier it might be to work out problems like this, because it's not shaped to me at all. That's why I'm getting lots of wrinkles everywhere. It's very comfortable, but it's not very well fitted. So what would have happened over time is, but rather than having a square bodice and a tubular sleeve, people would have started to pinch out and shape it. So one thing is, if you shape your sleeve and you angle it like on our bodice block, then already it starts fitting better. The same if you start shaping it here into that curve, and when we start taking out space out of the sleeve itself, and if you actually if you would just pinch it out, pin it and cut it, you would start to get the sleeve shape you're more familiar with. Because what you're taking is you're leaving it at the top as it is, so it would be quite a flat sleeve head, but when you're pinching out, so you're getting the curving of both, where we're taking stuff away. And this is one way pattern making would have developed over hundreds and thousands of years. But it sort of makes you understand that yes, it's always something, if you want movement and fit, and it's to do with what you've taken out and what you added up on, whether you got too much of one or the other, and how you want things to fit. And I'm going to show you one last example, which is completely different and which you're going to sort of start doing next. I wanted to show you this coat with a gusset sleeve, just because that's the other extreme of pattern development. So the blue coat I just showed you, over time it would have developed into sleeve like that, just by pinching out, redefining the fit of our shoulder seam, adding our bust studs, all that sort of stuff, where suddenly you go from just a piece of fabric to a garment consisting completely out of rectangles to something which is curved and fitted to the curves of our body. And you can see even this sleeve, it's not 100% perfect. Good excuse, it's not mine, but it's actually comfortable. It is fitted, it has got movement, so it's a sort of compromise. But it is achieved just by pinching out over centuries, changing stuff. And if you've seen, I think it's Tudor, and you see these sort of mad sleeves. And of course that's an extreme of where people are experimenting in different ways on how to get movement. If you look at armory as well, how the joints are always separate, all that sort of stuff. It's really quite fascinating how you always want movement and fit, and people think outside the box and something else happens, and then fashion comes in and it becomes about style as well, and it becomes exaggerated. But I wanted to show you the other way, of course, sleeves went, which is the gusset and the raglan. So instead of having a separate sleeve, whether it's tubular or sleeve shaped, it was to actually start curving it. So you started, instead of just having a fabric draped over you, you started pinching stuff out. It might have been originally just pleats or dart, and then it became a seam. But of course, the more you curved it, the less movement you had, and that's when you started to get gussets and raglan for fit. But same principle, it started from the same origin, and then it's just developed into separate sleeves, satin sleeves, and sort of raglan gussets grown on sleeves. And for the next 2 weeks, the drafting tutorials are going to be about different ways of enlarging your armhole and lowering your armhole and widening your sleeve. And then I'm going to probably in the fitting series move on to raglan and gussets after a break for more some vintage inspired pattern cutting. But I thought it would be sort of quite a nice organic journey from where it all come from. I hope you found this guide interesting. As I said, next week it's gonna be more practical, but what I'm hoping, so even if you just you might have known all this already, but even just to start thinking about why does a pattern not work, rather than just thinking, have I done something wrong? Quite often it's actually just about how fabric moves against your body and how the pattern moves, and it might be too square or not wide enough or too curved. And it's a lifelong learning curve. I think it's always, you always learn something new and you understand something better when something else makes sense. But knowing where things come from is a really good place to start, I think. So that's it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and I see you on Friday with some sleeve fit drafting. Bye.